What happens when the boy who broke your heart stands drenched in the rain, begging for a second chance? Will love conquer fear, or will the wounds of betrayal keep you apart forever? Hey there, I'm Emma and I'm 16 years old. I live in this lovely small town where I run my very own bookstore called Emma's Nook. It's my favorite place, filled with stories waiting to be discovered. Books have always been my escape, but lately, life has thrown some curveballs my way. I'm learning about love, trust, and the importance of following my dreams. You see, it's not just about the books anymore, it's about the people who walk through my door and change my life. So come along with me as I navigate this journey filled with ups, downs, and maybe some unexpected surprises along the way. I always thought life in a small town was quiet, maybe even boring, but honestly, I love it. My little bookstore, Emma's Nook, is like a warm hug, every shelf filled with stories, each page waiting for someone to discover its magic. One sunny afternoon, as I sorted through a box of new arrivals, the little bell on the door chimed. I looked up and saw a tall boy with messy hair and bright blue eyes walk in. My heart raced. I didn't get many customers like him. "Hi there," he said with a soft smile. "I'm Liam. Is it okay if I look around?" "Of course," I replied, trying to sound casual. "Feel free. We have a lot of rare finds today." He grinned and started browsing through the shelves. I watched him from behind the counter, curiosity buzzing in my chest. After a few minutes, he approached me, cradling a dusty old book. "This one looks amazing. Do you know its story?" I leaned in, my excitement bubbling over. "Oh, that one. It's a first edition of The Secret Garden. It's all about finding beauty in unexpected places." "Really?" He looked fascinated. "That's like life, isn't it? Sometimes we just have to dig a little deeper." His words caught me off guard. "Yeah, I guess you're right," I said, my brow furrowing. "And what about you, Liam? Are you looking for anything special today?" He paused, his gaze turning serious. "I guess I'm just searching for my place. You know, I feel like everyone else has it figured out. But me? Not so much." His honesty stunned me. I felt a strange pull toward him. I get that. Sometimes I wonder if I'm doing enough with my life, or if I'm just running in circles, I admitted, a hint of sadness creeping into my voice. "Do you want to do more?" he asked, tilting his head. "I do," I replied, my heart racing. "I dream of hosting book readings and writing workshops, but I'm scared. What if no one comes?" He grinned again, the warmth in his eyes shining bright. "You have to start somewhere. Trust me, you have the passion." "Do you really think so?" I asked, trying to read his expression. His genuine smile gave me hope. "I know so," he said. "With that kind of energy, how could you not?" I felt my cheeks flush. "Thanks, Liam. It means a lot coming from you." He shifted his weight, looking intrigued. "What's your favorite book?" I hesitated. It was like opening my heart. "It's Pride and Prejudice. I love how Elizabeth Bennet stands up for herself." He chuckled. "A strong female character. I like it. Makes me think you're pretty strong too." "Maybe I could be if I believed it more," I murmured. Liam nodded, deep in thought. "You should definitely believe it. Everyone needs a little encouragement, right?" I felt a spark of energy between us. It was thrilling and terrifying all at once. "You're really inspiring, you know. I wish more people could see that." He smiled, glancing at the book he held. "Maybe I'll be one of your first workshop attendees someday." I couldn't help but laugh. "You'd better, but only if you promise to bring your favorite book." "It's a deal," he said, his smile doing something weird to my heart. As he laughed, I couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed inside me. This simple day in my bookstore had turned into something extraordinary. Was it possible? Could I really start following my dreams? I didn't have the answer yet, but for the first time, I felt a flicker of hope. The days flew by faster than I'd ever imagined. Liam started visiting Emma's nook every week, and it felt like sunshine breaking through the clouds. He would stroll in with a bright smile and a paper bag of lunch. "Hey, Emma, ready for my lunch surprise?" He laughed one afternoon, his eyes sparkling. "What did you bring today?" I asked, trying to hide my eagerness. "Ta-da!" he exclaimed, pulling out 2 sandwiches and some chips. "I thought we could share." I couldn't help but grin. "You're so thoughtful. I love surprises." As we sat together on the little couch in the corner of the store, I felt these tiny butterflies fluttering in my stomach. It was silly, really. I had a customer beside me, not a prince. Yet this felt special. "What's the best part of your day so far?" he asked, his gaze inquisitive. I bit into my sandwich, the juice of the tomato bursting in my mouth. "Honestly, right now, sharing lunch with you feels like a dream." He chuckled, edging closer. "You mean I'm more exciting than the books?" "Maybe," I said, laughing. "They can't talk back easily, after all." He looked thoughtful for a moment. "Well, I want to hear about your dreams, too. What else do you want to do with your bookstore?" I suddenly felt anxious. Talking about my dreams was hard. I want to hold more events. Workshops, readings. I just want it to be a cozy place for everyone. "You should," he said encouragingly. "I can see this bookstore becoming something huge, Emma. You know? Like a community hub." His words sent a jolt through me. "Really? You think so?" "Absolutely," he replied, confidence dancing in his voice. "You have the passion. That's what matters most." But my heart raced. I just run a small bookstore. I don't know if it'll ever be more than that. "I can help," he said, leaning forward. "What if I invest in your ideas? We could make this place shine." My eyes widened. "You mean, like money? For events?" He nodded, excitement bubbling in his expression. "Exactly. I see potential here, Emma. You just need someone to help you spread your wings." "My mean spoon? But why would you do that? You hardly know me." He smiled softly, a kindness wrapping around me like a cozy blanket. "Because I believe in you. And I believe in this place. You make it special." Tears stung my eyes, surprising me. "You think I'm special?" "Of course," he said, his voice steady. "You have heart. That's rare." I couldn't help but blush. "Wow. Thank you, Liam. I've never had someone believe in me like that." He grinned, that charming smile that lit up his entire face. "Well, get used to it. I think the world needs more dreamers like you." After lunch, I felt lighter, like my dreams could burst into the sky. I had to tell Sarah about this. She always knew how to help me sort through my feelings. Later, we met at our favorite coffee shop. I couldn't wait to spill everything. "Liam has been coming to my store and, oh my gosh, he wants to invest." I gushed. "Wait, what?" Sarah exclaimed, raising her eyebrows. "He wants to give you money? For the bookstore?" "Yes, he believes in my dreams," I said, a smile spreading across my face. "It's like a fairy tale, but real." "What are you going to do?" she asked, wide-eyed. "I don't know. I don't want to mess this up," I confess, biting my lip. She reached across the table, squeezing my hand. "You'll figure it out. Just follow your heart." I nodded, though my heart raced with excitement and fear. Liam had planted a seed in me, and I wasn't sure how deep its roots would grow. As I walked back to my shop, I couldn't stop smiling. Maybe, just maybe, my wildest dreams could come true, all because of that boy who walked in one sunny afternoon. When Liam invited me to the charity gala, I felt both excitement and fear twisting in my stomach. This was a big deal. Everyone in town talked about it. Fancy decorations, expensive gowns, and people who seemed like they belonged in magazines. "Emma, you'll be amazing," Liam said confidently as we stood outside his car, looking at the grand venue. Trust me. Just be yourself. Myself? I echoed nervously. What if I look out of place? Everyone here will be so glamorous. You'll be perfect. Let's go. He smiled, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. As we entered the ballroom, my breath caught in my throat. Chandeliers hung above us, sparkling like stars. Glittering gowns flowed around me, and laughter bubbled like sparkling water. I felt small, like a tiny fish in a big ocean. Just stick with me, he said, sensing my nerves. I'll introduce you to everyone. Okay, I whispered, trying to smile, but my heart beat wildly in my chest. At first, I clung to Liam as we mingled with other guests. This is Emma, he said, introducing me with pride. She's the amazing owner of Emma's Nook. Nice to meet you, Emma, they replied, but I felt their eyes sizing me up. I wondered if they could see how different I was. Can we get a drink? I asked Liam, trying to escape the bright lights and people. Sure, he laughed. It's not a party without drinks. What do you want? I'll have water, I replied, feeling embarrassed. Water it is, he grinned like it was the best choice in the world. As we stepped away from the crowd, my heart started to relax. Thanks for bringing me, Liam. This is, something. Definitely something, he said, leaning against the bar. You look beautiful, by the way. Really? I asked, surprised. In this dress? I feel like I'm wearing a costume. Trust me, you stand out, he replied, his voice warm. But just as I smiled, I noticed a group of men chatting nearby. I tried not to eavesdrop, but their voices were clear. She's just a temporary distraction, one said, casually as if it was nothing. You know how Liam is. He jumps from one girl to another. My heart dropped. Were they talking about me? A temporary distraction? I felt the air start to fade, like a balloon losing its breath. Yeah, I can't see this lasting, another man laughed. He'll get bored soon enough. Stop it, Liam's voice came to life, sharper than I'd ever heard. Emma isn't just a distraction. She means something to me. My cheeks burned. Did he really mean that? Did I mean something? But another voice chimed in, Liam, you always say that. What about your life? The gala? You don't need this right now. Feeling crushed, I cupped my hands over my own ears. I wanted to scream, to disappear. How could he see me as more than a fleeting moment? Let's go back to the party, Liam suggested, looking at me, a frown crossing his face. You okay? Sure, I said, though my voice trembled. As we walked back into the crowd, I felt the weight of his gaze, like he was searching for answers. But how could I ask him? Deep down, my heart raced with hurt. We'll dance next, he exclaimed, trying to light up the mood. Dance? I gasped. No way. Why not? He laughed. You can't let this night scare you. Just feel the music. I forced a smile but felt tears prick my eyes. Did he really want me by his side, or was I just someone to fill time? As the music swelled, my heart sank. How could I dance when my thoughts were swirling? I didn't want to be his distraction. I wanted to be something more. Leaving the gala felt like stepping out of a dream and into a cold, dark reality. I hurried to my car, each step heavy with heartbreak. The lights faded behind me, and I could almost hear the laughter and music drifting away. It tormented me. It crushed my spirit. Ignoring Liam's calls was hard. The phone buzzed and buzzed, but I didn't want to face him. I knew he would want to talk, to explain. What would he say? I whispered to myself in my empty bookstore days later, that it was all just a misunderstanding? But I didn't want to hear the truth. I was too hurt. I had to focus. So I buried myself in my work. I dusted shelves, organized books, and even started planning for that workshop I had dreamed about. Hey, Emma, you okay? Sarah asked one afternoon, her eyes sparkling with concern as she stepped inside the store. Yeah, I'm fine, I replied, forcing a smile. Just busy, you know. Busy, sure, she said, raising an eyebrow. But you haven't been yourself. What's going on? Just life, I hesitated. I've got the bookstore, and that's all that matters right now. She frowned, not fully convinced. You need to talk about things sometimes, you know. I will. I promise, I said, desperate to change the subject. But right now, let's focus on upcoming events for the shop. After Sarah left, I sighed heavily. I thought about Liam, his voice, and how he looked at me. Did I mean something to him, or was I just another distraction? It haunted me, but deep down I pushed it all away, hoping it would sting less with time. Days turned into weeks. My life was just books and work, with no space for anything else, until one chilly morning everything changed. As I sat reading the latest shipment of books, I felt a strange twist in my stomach. That's just stress, I told myself, but deep inside, I feared it was something more. I took a deep breath and went to the drugstore that afternoon. When the test turned positive, my world tilted. Impossible, I muttered, staring in disbelief. My mind raced. What do I do? What will I say? I thought about Sarah, about Liam. I felt an urge to tell someone, but fear wrapped around me like a thick fog. They didn't need my burden. I can't let this change everything, I said softly into the empty space. I'll keep it to myself for now. As I walked back to the bookstore, I felt heavier than before. Thoughts whirled in my mind, battling for control. What did being pregnant mean? What would I do? I had no answers, only questions. My hands shook as I picked up a stack of inventory papers. I scanned the words but couldn't focus. The thought of telling Liam terrified me. Would he think I was just trying to keep him? I couldn't bear that. Days turned into isolation. I kept my distance from everyone, always pretending I was just too busy. Emma, where have you been? Sarah asked one day as I hurried to the front counter. You seem more distant than ever. I'm fine, really. Just tired, I said, avoiding her piercing gaze. Okay, but I'm here if you ever want to talk, she replied, concern knitting her brows together. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it, I said, forcing a smile, but inside walls were closing in. The truth about this baby burned within me. I couldn't share it. I couldn't open that door. So I kept it locked away, buried beneath the stories in my bookstore and the memories of a boy who had made me believe in dreams only to spin my world into confusion. And so, day by day, I moved forward. It'd keep my life simple. Just me, my books, and my secret. Maybe someday I'd find the strength to face everything that loomed ahead. But for now, I was just surviving. As time passed, I couldn't shake the feeling that Liam was increasingly distant. I noticed his absence during meetings that should have mattered, both for our bookstore community and in his own life. Hey, have you seen Liam lately? Sarah asked one day as we sorted through our latest book shipment. Not really, I replied, trying to sound casual. Inside, my heart raced. Did I care? Did I even want to know? He's been missing important meetings, she continued with a frown. He looks distracted. I'm worried about him. Why would you be worried? I asked, a bit too quickly. He's fine. Emma, she said, lowering her voice, you know he cares about you, right? There was something special there. I swallowed hard. That was weeks ago. Things change. But Sarah wasn't convinced. You should talk to him. You both deserve to know what's going on. Maybe, I murmured, feeling the weight of that word. Each time I thought of Liam, a familiar ache twisted in my chest. I missed him but didn't want to admit it out loud. Meanwhile, Liam seemed to be searching for something, maybe answers. I overheard him speaking to Mark one afternoon at the coffee shop. I happened to be nearby, pretending to read a book while trying to tune them out. Mark, I think I messed up, Liam said, his voice filled with frustration. I shouldn't have pushed Emma away. What do you mean? Mark asked, sounding concerned. You were getting close. I know, but I let my friends and all this pressure get to me, Liam sighed. And now, she's avoiding me. I feel like a complete idiot. I felt a pang of guilt mixed with longing. He sounded so sincere, like he truly cared. Did he? Have you talked to her? Mark asked. Liam's voice dropped to a whisper. I've tried. I keep asking everyone about her, but she's shut me out. My heart felt heavy. I didn't want him to worry about me. I didn't want to be a source of confusion or pain, but at the same time, hearing him say my name sent waves of hope crashing through me. Look, man, Mark said, trying to offer advice. Maybe she needs some time, but you should reach out. Tell her you're sorry. I don't even know how, Liam said, his voice cracking slightly. I just wish I could go back and fix this. Suddenly anger rose within me. Did he really think things could be fixed just like that? Did he understand the mess he left me in? As I clutched my book tightly, I couldn't help but feel tears brimming in my eyes. I was so tired of all these emotions. I didn't want to be part of his chaos or his guilt. Just then, they both got up, laughing about something else, and I ducked behind the shelf, pretending to look at a book. I can't believe I nearly let her slip away, I heard Liam say. I still want to make it right. Those words echoed in my ears. Did I even want him to make it right? Days passed, and yet the thought of Liam lingered in my mind. I spotted him sometimes, deep in conversation with friends, but he never looked my way. Part of me was angry. He had called me a distraction, and then it felt like he had moved on. But what if he was still thinking about me? What did it mean if he was worried? I wanted to reach out, but fear gripped my heart. I remained trapped in my silence. The world outside continued to whirl around me while I stayed frozen, lost within my own thoughts. I couldn't really confront him. Not now. As I closed up the bookstore that evening, I took a deep breath. Maybe one day I'd find the courage to face him and the truth about everything, but for now I would continue focusing on my books and keep my heart shielded from the confusion he left behind. On a stormy night, the wind howled like a wild animal outside my bookstore. Rain slammed against the windows, and I felt a strange tension in the air. I was curled up with a book, hoping to escape my thoughts, when a loud, urgent knock shattered the calm. My heart raced as I glanced at the door. Who could that be? I whispered, a lump forming in my throat. I hesitated but finally walked to the door. The knocking continued, a steady, desperate rhythm. I opened it, and there stood Liam, drenched and shivering, his hair sticking to his forehead. Emma, he gasped, looking up at me with wide, pleading eyes. Please, can I come in? What are you doing here, Liam? I said, confusion mixing with worry. Please, he said again, his voice almost cracking. I need to talk to you. It's important. I stepped aside, letting him in. He stumbled over his words as he wiped the rain from his face. I'm sorry. I had to see you. Liam, you're soaked, I said, glancing back toward the door. You shouldn't have come out in this weather. He wiped at his cheeks, and I realized he was crying. I don't care. I've been a mess, and I can't stop worrying about you. I crossed my arms, feeling a mix of emotions. You haven't even talked to me in weeks. Why now? He took a deep breath, visibly shaking. Because I've been lost without you. I realize how much you truly meant to me. Losing you, it feels like losing a part of myself. His words felt like a punch in the gut. Part of me wanted to be angry. But you let me go, Liam, I said sharply. You pushed me away. I know, he exclaimed, his voice filled with desperation. I was scared. I didn't know how to handle it. And then I heard what I said and just called me a temporary distraction. I interrupted, bitterness creeping into my voice. I didn't mean it like that. I was caught up in everything. My friends, expectations. I didn't think about the hurt I'd cause you. But now Now I can't think of anything else. I can't stop thinking about you. I felt tears threaten to spill. Seeing him like this, drenched and honest, was hard. You have no idea what that did to me, I said shakily. I felt like I wasn't worth anything. You are worth everything, he shouted, his eyes pleading. You made me feel alive. When I was with you, everything was brighter. I messed up. Suddenly, everything rushed back, the laughter, the moments we shared. I wanted to hug him and also scream at him. This doesn't change what happened, Liam. You hurt me. I know, he said, his voice breaking. And I will do anything to fix it. I promise I'll make it right. Just give me a chance to show you how much you mean to me. How can I trust you? I asked, tears spilling over. What if you leave again? I won't, he said, stepping closer, desperation in his eyes. I'll show you. So don't shut me out. I looked into his eyes, rain still streaming down his face. A part of me wanted to believe him. You're asking for a lot, Liam. I know, but I'll work for it. I just need to try. Please, just give me that chance, he pleaded, his voice softening. I won't let you down again. The storm outside raged on, but inside, something began to shift. I felt torn, my heart battling my head. Could I let him back in after everything? Okay, I finally said, my voice trembling. But you have to promise to really try. This isn't just about you. You have to make me believe things can be different. A glimmer of hope sparked in his eyes. I promise. I swear to you, Emma, I'll do better. As I watched him, standing there soaked and vulnerable, I suddenly felt a weight lift. Maybe it was a risk. Maybe it was foolish. But I was willing to give it a chance. Just this once. As I stood there, watching Liam's desperate face illuminated by the dim light of my bookstore, I felt a whirlwind of emotions swirling within me. I was caught between feelings of betrayal and an overwhelming sense of empathy. How could I trust him again after everything? Emma, Liam said softly, his voice breaking the silence. Please just let me explain. I need to be honest with you. I crossed my arms tightly, as if shielding my heart from the storm brewing inside me. Right now, I don't even know what to think, Liam. You hurt me. How can I forget that? I understand, he said, taking a shaky breath. I can't take back what I've said or done, but I need you to know where my fears come from. His eyes were filled with sincerity, and I found it hard to turn away. What do you mean? He paced a little, rain still dripping from his clothes. When I was younger, my family faced a lot of turmoil. I saw people come and go. I felt abandoned. I think it made me afraid to open up, afraid of getting too close. I listened, my heart softening even as my mind battled with doubt. But you didn't think about me, did you? I didn't think at all, he admitted, looking down at the floor. I was caught up in my own fears, and I pushed you away. I thought it would be easier that way, but it only made everything worse. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I asked, frustration bubbling up. I thought it would make me look weak, he replied, running a hand through his hair. But I feel weak now, being here, begging for another chance. I just want you to know it wasn't you, it was me. Tears filled my eyes again, but this time for a different reason. I felt sadness for him. He was just a boy trying to fight his own demons. But I don't want to be someone's temporary distraction. I want to be someone important. You are important, he said firmly, his gaze locking onto mine. You were the best thing in my life. That's why this hurts so much. I never wanted to lose you. I felt confused, caught in a tug-of-war between my heart and my head. Could he really mean it? Was he capable of true change? How can I be sure you won't just hurt me again? I said, my voice trembling. I can't promise I'll be perfect, but I can promise to try my hardest, he replied earnestly. You deserve the best, and I want to be the person who gives that to you. I don't want to be here just to fix you, I said, feeling the weight of my words. I can't take on that burden. No one is asking you to, he said quickly. I want to change for myself, but I also want to change for you. I want to earn back your trust. For a moment, silence surrounded us. I felt the tension easing just a little. Was I really considering this? Was there a chance for something good after all the pain? I took a deep breath, trying to process everything. What if I give you a second chance but still get hurt? Then we'll deal with it together, he said, stepping forward, his voice steady. I won't run away this time. I looked deep into his eyes. They seemed so genuine. Could it really be that simple? I thought about the laughter we had shared, the moments that had made my heart race, but I also thought of the hurt and confusion. Okay, I finally said, my heart's still racing. Let's see if you mean what you say. But understand this, it's not just a free pass. You have to show me every day that you can do better. He nodded, relief washing over his face. Thank you, Emma. You won't regret it. I promise I'll prove it to you. As we stood together in that moment, the rain outside began to lighten. I wanted to believe in him. I hoped maybe, just maybe, we could rewrite our story. But deep down, a question lingered. Could true change really happen? Only time would tell. So, what do you think? Would you take a chance on someone who hurt you, or would you protect your heart? Comment below with your thoughts. I can't wait to hear your experiences and what you would do in my shoes.